Are you a business owner struggling with wearing every hat from custodian to comptroller? Do you know all the local, state, and federal tax reports you have to file and when? Is your business positioned to leverage credit? You're best at what you do when you're doing what you were designed to do. At Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services, we're designed to support your business from conception to succession. Let us optimize your business for the best tax advantages, payroll, accounting, and even virtual CFO services. Our Business Operations Success Suite is tailored to your business to meet you where you are and help you grow by freeing you of the tedious back office requirements. See how we can customize a plan for you at www.elite8financial.com or call us at 469-412-0056. Get balls. Get behind the sheet.
Finding your brand space in this ever-changing economy can be challenging to new and established businesses. Graphic Line Media can help launch your business's brand potential to unknown places with creative revisioning that relentlessly presses the competition. From graphic design, web, print, apparel, media, and social, we have something designed to grow your business. Don't hesitate. Rule your space. Visit Graphic Line Media at graphiclinemedia.com or join our Facebook page at Graphic Line Media to get special discounts and offers.
Welcome to another episode of Boss Talk Radio. If you guys had any idea the amount of foolishness that goes on, like right before the show gets ready to start, the amount of things that I get these ideas and I'm hitting the team like, hey, can you send me this? Can you do this? So first things I want to do is give a shout out to the music producer, to Kenya, I call it T-Cakes Battle, because I had gotten this whole new intro and everything done, but I'm a musician by trade. And so the sound didn't come through right. I sent it back over to her. She got it remixed. She sent it back over to me, and the file type wouldn't upload. So she just literally resent it to me like 60 seconds ago, and I was uploading it as you guys were watching the commercial. So today you'll see that premiere intro with my niece, who I'm super proud of. She's doing some big things, just dropped her EP, and we're probably going to have her on the show here within the next couple of weeks. She just had another article in shout out DFW. And you guys are probably wondering, you're like, hey, well, what's been happening with Boss Talk Radio? He was on every day and everything, and then he just kind of ghosted us. Well, if you've been paying attention to the news, your government is crazy, and tax season got started late, so that allowed me to do a little bit more. And then they hit me with the curveball right in the middle of this thing, so I'm not going to get into that. We have a lot of people out here that are talking about the changes in the tax laws and all of this good stuff, and that's great, but it's more important to me to get it to you guys right than to get it to you first. So have a little something for you. I am excited to announce on April 1st, I will be partnering with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce and their Community of Economic Development Corporation to bring you federal tax updates, all the new stuff about the Rescue Plan Act, the EIDL stuff, PPP. All this information is going to be coming to you. Go to usblackchambers.org webinars to get your early bird tickets. This will be an intense amount of information. So, of course, show up with your pen, show up with your pad or your iPhones or however you take your notes. Again, that is usblackchambers.org/webinars. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And I'm not going to commit to seeing you at any point in time before then, other than on the regular Fridays where we do the interviews, because during the week, it's just gotten a little bit too hectic with the increase in traffic and everything. I'm not complaining. I love being in demand. Hey, so anyway, today, we're going to skip those segments that we missed in the week because those were due for earlier in the week. And we have a very exciting guest today. Actually, we have the whole panel in the building. We were able to get the whole executive team. This is their boss thing do. So I'm going to be bringing them on shortly. But also, while I've been going, of course, I've been up to the foolishness. So I am going to be bringing you guys a new comic strip via both video and flat. And it's going to be for kids. Well, it's intentionally designed for kids ages 8 to 12 to introduce them into financial concepts, because I think the earlier you introduce financial concepts, the better. And I need the audience's help. We have to name the character. When I say get behind the shield, this is what's in mind: the defender against the IRS. And I want the audience's help naming this character. So when you have an opportunity, drop it in the comments. Be sure to give StreamYard your name. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment for me, or you can email me at info@talkbossradio.com. And we're hoping to bring you this content right about close to the end of the summer, right before kids get ready to go back to school, unless, of course, something happens and I don't get to take vacation and you get it early, so you'll have something to entertain them while they're at home during the summer, which in the new COVID world, do they ever really go anywhere? They've been at home all this time, right? So, but look forward to that content. And again, please drop me some ideas for some names. And without a further ado, I want to introduce you to the new segment intro for Boss Talk Radio.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio, the #1 online business and entrepreneurial talk show, brought to you by Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services.
Boss Talk Radio, keeping it real, yeah, that's for sure. I said a Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
He gon' fix your situation like there ain't no time for wasting. We ain't playing when we saying
he the boss.
And if you ever have a problem, he gon' show you how to solve it. Listen in and he'll show you he the boss.
Talk
Here's your host, the sexy tax expert, George Dandridge.
Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
Okay, so I'm probably telling my age, but with that scene and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, that's my theme music. Every superhero have to have. So, young people, y'all might not know what I'm talking about, but everybody else cracking up. Somebody just spit their drink out. So today we have the entire executive team in the building from the StockTrain. Woo, woo! All aboard for the StockTrain. Welcome to the show, CEO and CFO Jay and Latoya Owens. Welcome. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm real good because I was concerned since we didn't get an opportunity to do a little bit of a sound check beforehand. I don't know if y'all saw the foolishness I was doing back here trying to get these videos to coordinate and everything. And then we also want to welcome to the show, and I'm real excited to talk to you guys, Natasha and Tobias Green. How y'all doing today?
Hey.
So I don't know who wants to take this first one, but first tell us about the StockTrain, what it is and how it came to be.
Okay, I guess I can take that question. So during the pandemic of last year, Natasha and I are cousins. We grew up together in a small town of Arkansas. So she contacted me last year and asked, hey, cuz, how do you trade stocks? Because, it's pretty much a buzzword these days, but I've been trading off and on for several years, probably over 5 years. I've learned how to trade and taught myself. But she asked me how to trade, and I was like, go read a book. That's usually what I tell everybody who asks me questions. I'm like, man, go Google it or something like that, because I'll be like, I don't want my time wasted. But little behold, she probably read every book on Google, I guess, because she came back with a lot of more questions. And then it just came from there. We were like, man, maybe we should teach some people this, every other Sunday or whatever. And we couldn't think of a name. And my daughter, Ariana, was like, hey, she came up with the concept. Now she's talking about, I want my cut or whatever. But she came up with the name. She said StockTrain, because it's stock and you guys are training people. And then you can use the whole concept around the train track and everything about how to, get passengers all on board and all of that. So shout out to my daughter, Ariana. She does all of our graphics, all of our design. She knows how to program and stuff. So she does a lot of stuff in the back scene for us. And she came up with the entire concept. And then from there, we was just teaching people over the pandemic how to make, extra money on the stock market. In addition to that, more important, we were teaching people how to educate themselves about learning about the financial system and how it actually works as far as the markets. And then from March, April, we probably started all the way up until this past December, end of the year, we had to just convert over to entire new, company. We had to form everything and just, and then it just went from there. It's just been like crazy. Facebook been hitting us up, Instagram, everybody. And we want to thank you for having us on the Boss Talk Radio podcast here today. We really appreciate that. We appreciate the love from everyone that we're getting. And that's really how we started. It just all started with just a question from my cousin Tasha asking me teach me how to trade or whatever. And then I figured out she's just a natural at it. She gets the concepts just like that. And it just went from there.
Now, I have to drop this in here because according to statistics, according to the media, everything I've ever read, this is not possible. Black family working together, ain't nobody fighting over no money. Like, wait a minute, this don't happen. That would look like Black excellence.
And believe it
what
or
are you
not,
talking about?
I mean,
you got the audacity to just be walking around building a team, having your daughter come up with great concepts and everything. And shout out to Ariane. Go ahead and get your publishing and copyright.
I even forgot. She's a published author. I forgot
Yes,
about
she
that.
is,
She's
yeah.
a great 16-year-old. But
Success breeds success.
Let the media tell it. We all fighting and crabs in the barrel, but we all help each other when it push comes to shove. We all got each other back. The community has each other back, and we have to stick together for this. We have to build for the community. We have to do this. This is not like maybe or must. It's like we have to. No one is going to pull us out of this mess that we're in except us, and we can do it. We absolutely can do it. We just have to teach everyone. You're teaching on the tax side. We're teaching on the investing and trading side. Someone teaches, business 101. Someone, teach how to, properly take care of agriculture or something. Everybody plays a part, and I think together as a community, we can definitely build.
And what helps us is that we're all military or ex-military. They're Air Force, we're Army, so we're all veterans. My husband's a combat veteran. I've deployed 3 times as well. And so we know how to come together and work together and get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm gonna pick your brain real heavy in a minute. And for those of you that don't know, Latoya is actually my tax sister. I was blown away. Like at first, when I first saw like the group and everything, I just thought it was something she was doing on the side, like learning. I didn't know she was involved in getting real hell. One day I was like, Latoya, are you involved in this company? And she's like, yeah, I'm a part of. She's real like humble like that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, in that case, let me find out what's going on. Now, how she's maintaining that schedule and her other business in doing the wife mom thing is beyond my understanding, but that's what makes women great. But Natasha,
yes, sir.
they tell me that you are, and I get nervous even saying this word. I get anxiety. They tell me you are the stock analyst in this situation. That almost sounds like all the pressure's kind of on you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Jeremiah and Tobe, they help out a lot with that. But I am very active in our Telegram group. I get a lot of questions thrown at me, and I am steady on Google trying to find out information wherever I can find it to get it out to our group. So I want to make sure that they can make as much money as they can and lose as less as they can. So I'm pretty much 3 a.m. I'm up, and I'm up all night. So I barely get any sleep.
Wow. And so, Tobias, I understand that you're pretty much the engine, the mechanic in this situation that keeps the train going down the track.
Yeah, pretty much. But Jay helps with a whole lot of that too. With the stocks and charts and like them little candlesticks and how to read some of the charts.
I'm just going to insist on going back to this team thing, huh? Who's the be like, yeah, I did that.
It's a team.
No. Yeah, it takes a team
effort. Like
we out here, everyone has to play their position in order for us to win that Super Bowl or win that ultimate prize, if you will. So that's what it's all about. Team.
They didn't hear you in the back, Jay.
Yeah, I know my mind.
Y'all gotta work together as a team. It was a no-brainer for me to work with my family. We're all cool. I noticed that Tasha had a knack for stock trading. My wife is a great accountant. She knows numbers like the back of her hand. So it'd be foolish for me to hire a CFO or someone to do our finances when she's right here. She got me this far with our finances. She's the CFO of the household. It makes sense to me. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we can all work together and do this. You can push each other just like you're in the gym or in a sporting event or whatever. Or you said you're a musician. I play drums a little bit. My brother's a musician, organ, piano. If I'm messing up, he pushed me. Practice to get better. So in everything you do, you just push each other, pray until something happens, and then you go from there.
And I just wanted to, I know I probably caught y'all off guard with that, but I just wanted to drive home that point about being able to work as a team and everybody being able to know and understand and execute their roles, but at the same time supporting each other's roles, because it kept coming back to, oh, well, they helped me with this. Oh, yeah, but now they helped me with it. And I wanted to just drive that point home because you guys are making a lot of noise out here in the industry. And so when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the stock trade.
This is Dr. Tamia Gassler, rejuvenating chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
The U.S. government has given billions of dollars to businesses in an effort to curb the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government will begin to pursue recouping these funds in 2021. Aggressive penalties will be imposed on companies that do not follow regulations and guidelines for proper use of these funds. Criminal charges are already being levied on fraudulent use. Don't suffer again. Get a customized business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services for your company today. Boss packages include entity formation, payroll, accounting and bookkeeping, tax planning, tax filings, and quarterly strategy sessions to minimize your tax liability, increase efficiency, and maximize your profits. Make your appointment today at elite8financial.com. Get the guidance, tools, and protection your business needs now. Get Boss. Get behind the shield.
This is Dr. Tamia Gass with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
What's good, family? We are back at Boss Talk Radio, and we have the entire C-suite in the building from the StockTrain. I don't know what it is about seeing your logo make me want to come on ride this train. Then ride it, but that's and I know I got a shirt coming too. But so right now, the investing thing is like, I don't know if you call it buzzword, trending, whatever you want to call it. And I'm here for it. Like, for the first time ever in my life, it's like a cultural norm to be talking about investing, whether it's the stock market, crypto, real estate, or whatever. These weren't common conversations, I would say, even 5-10 years ago or whatever. But there's a downside. I see a lot of people so triggered by the energy from social media and those that do it for the gram or whatever, that they're throwing some money in there that maybe they need to get some other things in place first. So whoever wants to take this question, the question is, what are like the top 3 things you feel like people need to either have or understand before they decide to get into investing?
Who wants to take that question? I can take it. Well, the very first thing I would say is it all starts at home. The very first thing I would tell anybody to do, learn how to just budget your own money. Before you start investing and getting into, because you read something online and you see a bunch of buzzwords on Instagram and Snapchat, and you're looking and you see, oh, this stock is going and this person said join this stock group and you're going to be a millionaire by tomorrow. Cut it out. I'm just being honest. If you don't understand the basics of just finance and economics 101, if you don't understand that, if you don't understand that there's a finite amount of wealth that's on this planet and you have to be able to extract it from there, if you don't understand like those type of concepts that we teach, then you need to just go back to the basics, learn how to, hey, I got this much income coming in, I got this much outcome going out, and this is what I have left over. From there, then you go into like investing. You need to understand how to read your simple 401k plan and work instead of going through the checkbox with HR. You're like, check. Then you get the envelope in the mail. You're like, I don't remember even signing up for Fidelity. Then you just throw it in the drawer in the kitchen and you don't even know what it means. You need to understand some basic, simple concepts before you start to invest. I tell people, put your money to the side. They'll open up a brokerage account. I put $1,000 in there, man. Tell me what stocks to get into. I just tell them, just let it sit there. You can't lose it. It's just sitting there. Learn first. Learn everything. Just like I said, if you're going to sit down and teach somebody the piano, they start teaching you basic concepts first. Just learn the basics. You don't need to get up there and play Mozart the very first thing you do. It just makes common sense to me for you to learn the basics. So number one, I would say, just learn how to monitor and budget your own finances right off the top. Mm-hmm. Number two, understand what you're doing first. And by understanding it, I mean, understand it to a point where if someone asks you a question about stock trading, you can go teach it or tell somebody else how to do it and exactly explain it word for word, exactly what it is that you're doing before you do it. That's how you know you understand something, like the teacher would do in school. Hey, come up here and show me how to work out this problem. They were testing you to see if you understood the thought process, the logical process of going through and working on that. So you need to understand in its totality exactly what it is that you're doing. You don't need to be a Harvard graduate from stock trading and an MBA or something, but you do need to understand, some basic concepts, understand what you're doing. Number three is learn that there is risk involved in this. And then you have to, I would say a 3B part of that would be start to think different than the way you thought being on a 9 to 5. You have to think with a business mind. You have to think, when I purchase stock, I become an owner, part owner, investor into a company. So I have to change my mindset from employee to owner. The way I'm thinking about stock trading, it's a totally different world when you're thinking like that, and it'll help you make decisions, take your emotions out of it, and then you just go from there.
I want to go deeper on that last part because I don't know enough to, and people call me all the time about investing stuff or investment advice, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not my lane. And they're like, well, aren't you in the market? You're like, yeah, but that's my money I'm playing with. I can't play with you. So my question there is, you talked about being emotional or whatever, and I really want to shoot this question to Natasha, because if I'm understanding this correctly, the whole concept came out of your curiosity. Look like we lost them.
They'll be back. Let me see. Did they lose connectivity?
So, but we talked about the emotional part, and I know they can still hear me on the other side, though. But we talk about the emotions. So Natasha came in and she was looking to learn this. And if you're anything like me, you probably was surprised by how much there was to learn. Like, I've bought some courses and stuff and just had to like sit them to the side, like, yeah, no, I can't process that right now or whatever. But as you started to build your knowledge base on this, and I'm sure like initially it was overwhelming, but as you started to build your knowledge base on this, was there a technique developed that allowed you to just remove your emotions where you're strictly making a business decision? Like, was that another training in and of itself, a conditioning, kind of like basic training for us military folk?
Can you guys hear us now? We kind of like went out for a minute and now we're back. So when I first started to trade, of course, my emotions were all in it. If I was down $500, I'm crying like, oh man, I'm down. I couldn't even sleep because I was down that $500. But what I've learned over time, when I do my research and I know what I have invested in, if I'm down $500, I'm cool, because I know that XYZ this stop.
I don't know if you could hear me. Your phone kind of froze up. If you have your phone Wi-Fi off or on, I'm sorry.
Next year,
turn your other one off.
It's gonna be up. So if I'm down 500, if I'm down 10,000, I'm cool. I think I'm down on one stock right now.
I don't think she can hear us. You're freezing.
I'm not stressing it. I'm okay because I know what I invested in it. I know I've done.
I think the sound may just be trailing her on that. As I was saying, if you had multiple devices on or you're logged into one of the social medias, just disconnect from that one. So we're gonna circle back to that question. I have another question too.
Are we good?
What has caused the popularity in the, I don't want to call it day trading, but it's like the whole buy, hold on the growth dividend thing has been thrown out of the window. You know, everybody's like kind of doing this to get through a week and pull out everything they can every week. And this one I'm going to shoot to Latoya. Well, first to Jay about why that exists, why that mindset exists, and then to Latoya to tell people about the tax consequences of these short-term kind of investments.
Okay, so when I just take a historical drive down memory lane, when I first started learning how to trade, man, it was really no information out there. You had to pay people courses and pay thousands of dollars for people courses. There were very little videos on YouTube, and there wasn't a lot of people doing it. And that's really, you have to buy a book or whatever, Investing for Dummies, and you have to really learn. There was really no simple concepts of, hey, this is step one is, do this. Step two is do that. You have to read and you have to know. I think within the past year or so, with retail trading, we call retail trading, people can just download Robinhood or TD Ameritrade and the free trading, because before it costs you money for every trade, right? Every time you buy stock or sell a stock, they earn a commission fee like $5.75 or something, whatever the fee was. When Robinhood and Webull and different people came in and said, we're going to just make no commission, right? So it made all of the other people follow suit with no commission. And then on top of that, I believe especially with the past year with the pandemic, a lot of people were out of jobs. A lot of people saw really quickly how fast it was to lose everything you got and really understand that there's a difference between financial security and financial freedom. I always say that because financial security is like maximum security. They call that the prison, right? Financial freedom is your ability to go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it. They're total opposite ends of the spectrum. You feel secure as long as someone's giving you a paycheck. Boom, 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 boom. When that stops, you feel very unsecure. Freedom is your freedom to understand that, hey, no matter what happened, I have the freedom to pick myself, to do it all by myself. People is starting to realize that, even though it's a buzz thing and some people make those shades, you don't know what you're doing in the stock market, and most people lose money and things like that. But the ideal of our people that's getting out there and educating themselves, I can 50%, 70% of my feed on Facebook now is not about a bunch of stuff on what's happening, reality shows. It's literally like, what's this stock ticker doing? Yeah. What Dogecoin and Bitcoin and its investment? I'm happy to see my people talking about this. We're getting together, man. We have trillions of dollars in group economics that we can control and things like that. It's time out for playing the silly games, and doing all of that. So I think that is hitting people where people are learning, hey, the story of, hey, you go in this factory, work 50 years like our grandparents did, and then you retire with the pension. It's not even there, right? It's not even there. You can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, that went away in the 90s when CEOs were skipping out with the pensions.
Yeah, right. Realizing that you can actually do this from the comfort of your home. You can do this and you can learn about it, and you can accelerate yourself even faster. As long as you educate yourself and learn about it, you can do this outside of just someone telling you that you can't do it because you don't have millions of dollars to invest. You're not a 6-figure earner. You're not a 7-figure earner. That's only for the rich people to do. You know what I mean? People can put back a little bit of money at a time, be patient, take out the emotions, and over time they can see themselves, growing their portfolio and doing things like that. So I think that's what it is people are getting away. Like, I thought I was secure, but I'm not secure. I thought I was secure at a government job. They're shutting down postal services left and right in different places. People are like, man, it's not as great as I thought it was.
Well, the illusion faded when the sun came out.
Yeah,
the mirage was gone. And I want to drive that point home that you touched on with the difference between financial security and financial freedom, because too often pre-pandemic, the mentality was that financial freedom was the ability to go and buy an expensive bag or something of that nature. It's like, no, that's not bad. And the way I always tell people is, it's not a problem until it exceeds your budget. I don't care what it is. It be your mortgage, your car repair, or vacant, whatever it is. It's not a problem until it exceeds your budget. And anybody that ever had a hard moment can relate to that. Most things you encounter, man, it probably just exceeded your budget at the time. Other than that, for the most part, it's at the most in kind of an inconvenience. Like, case in point, I got bad knees and whatnot. I'm not changing no tire. I'm not changing my oil. On my chest. And I watched this post on Facebook probably a year ago said a real man can change the tire, cut the grass, do this kind of repair. I'm like,
I don't do any of that.
I'm like, look, I pull out their wallet and pick up the phone and call somebody to do that and keep this economy going.
They cut yards when I was growing up. I said I'm never cutting another yard in my life. I'm not being I get out there every now and then, but no, sirree. I always tell people, man, you can tell the difference, especially in our community. The magic word for like an income is 6 figures. You make 6 figures, you don't make it, right? So I tell people the difference between a financial security mindset and a financial freedom mindset. A financial security mindset say, hey, I want to make 6 figures. A financial freedom say, I want to keep 6 figures.
And then can we at some point just acknowledge there's a wide span?
Right,
100,000 is 6 figures.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's 900. I'm just saying.
First year I get 6 figures, I was like,
this is it.
Just
where did it go? And who is thicker? And the Social Security, Medicare, whoever's in these paychecks, who I'm paying?
So we were having this part earlier. We ran into the sound issue. Can you hear us, Natasha?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you were telling us about the conditioning that was necessary to focus in on what you had to learn how to basically filter the information and separate your emotion.
Yeah, so what happens, you get a lot of new traders, and myself at one time, I was a new trader. I jump in, I start to trade, put in $1,000, instantly you're down 500. And what most people are going to do, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to panic sell. Okay, you just lost $500. You're upset that you lost that $500. You're sick about it. But we went into it without knowing the knowledge, the information. So how I go into a trade, if I'm automatically down within a couple days, I'm cool because I've done my research. If I know what I invested in, I'm fine. I could be investing in, let's say today it could be the next Apple, Netflix, Amazon. But because I did my research and I know what this stock is going to be worth later on, I take my emotions out. I just let it sit there. If you're looking for that quick money tomorrow, guess what? You're gonna be mad because you lost that $500. You're chasing. If you're chasing, you're gonna be mad and you're gonna lose every time and you're just gonna quit.
So what's the risk mitigation between, say, if this is even a real thing, say between research time and buy time? Like, do you end up missing a ship because you were doing the research and it took off while you were researching?
Definitely you can't, because there are stocks that's always running, but guess what? There's always going to be another stock. So take your time and be patient and do your research. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. People get it all the time. Don't worry about it. It's going to be another one. It's always another stock that's going to run. The thing is, you want to get in at the bottom. You don't want the stocks with the news that's already up. Guess what? They didn't already spike. You want to get in at the bottom. You do a stock that's in the back, that's quiet, and just wait for it. You just got to have patience.
Patience is key.
Patience is the key into making money.
So what does that look like at home when you guys have knocked off for the day, right? You set up the training, and like, do y'all even talk about anything outside of investing? Because I'm sure you got to get high off.
About taxes a lot.
And we heard it 20
about taxes. How we can cut our expenses.
Man, I hear it every day, like all day. And it's fine because I actually learned a lot from my wife. But it's like, babe, do you know what so-and-so ran up to today? And it's like, and I haven't seen, and I'll be like, nah, man, it's up $20. And I'm like, what? man, I had that back in February, or I had that back in October, because there'd be some stocks that we have that we made, profit off of, and then we, let it go and get a decent profit from it. But you'd be like, man, if I would have just kept that, because sometimes, there's certain things that we just let go too, and could have stayed in and probably made a lot more profit. But hey, I mean, you ain't gonna be able to catch everything, but we try to catch most of it.
The thing is we all work for the stock train, and then I'm joking about she's always bringing up taxes is because she's employed, she got employees, she owns her own accounting firm. So it's like inevitable that you're going to talk about it. It's like, really, you working for yourself, so you got to make this baby work. So that's what you're going to be passionate about and talking about. It's like having a newborn baby and not talking about it. Hey, y'all see my little newborn baby? It'd be like, what type of weird parent are you if you don't talk about your new baby all the time? So, yeah. So yeah,
I've gotten better. Though.
Yeah, no. I'm just our conversations vary from everything. We'll talk about things to rap music videos to stock. But I enjoy the conversation overall. I really enjoyed. Our kids are picking up on the conversation. They talk about it. My 8-year-old go around here and she'll mention something about stocks or I'm gonna have a whole bunch of money because I'm gonna invest in this stock or something like that.
Hey, they know about the song. Twin got a song. You gonna tell her about the song, Twin?
Oh, the theme song.
Yeah, theme song to the stock train.
Who was it? Was it Jeannie?
Who?
What were you saying, Toad?
No, I was saying, let them know about the theme song. She actually
My wife ended up singing the theme song for the stock train. Man, we're kind of trying to make it like a little sitcom animated. We go live every other week, and it's fun, man. Because you said you're into music. We're all into music here. We got our keyboards, guitars, and stuff upstairs. So it's very. I was like, we need to make a theme song. And I told you, come on up here and sing this theme song for us. So it's pretty cool, man. It turned out great. So it's great.
Well, that's good that you guys can keep the well-rounded portion of it, because I know for me, it was probably 2015. A lot of people just kind of fell off or pushed me away because I made one conscious decision. I said, if you're going to talk to me, we're going to be talking about taxes, or we ain't talking. And today is very hard to see me, talk to me, or whatever without seeing my shield somewhere, from a cup holder to a pen to a shirt. I get wild with it. So I understand what y'all deal with. But earlier I mentioned something, and we kind of got away from it. I want to come back to that with LaToya, is telling people about, because again, I'm here for this investment culture that's changed. I'm loving this new conversation. I'm just bothered that so many people run in blind. And that's why when I seen you guys, I was like, yeah, we got to get them on the show and talk about this thing, because, this follow the crowd thing is going on, and nobody's talking about the tax consequences on this or whatever. And I think this is the first time that it's been such a phenomenon that people are getting that wake-up call. Like I had a client had a 1099B that was like 190 pages long for $4.
Wake up call for real.
So tell people about that and what they should be cognizant of, and then we'll go back to either Natasha or Jay to talk about the strategy part, because I don't know if this is a real thing, but they told me you have to have a strategy, and I need to get on the train because I'm still that emotional dude that don't like to lose. I go to the casino with $40, I lose 10. If I win 10, though, if I win 10, I'm out. So tell us about the tax implications of that and what people should watch out for.
Oh, of course. So the most important thing people need to realize is that the short term versus long term, that's going to be your basics right there when it comes to, for new investors. So the one thing I want people to pick up from this today is short-term gains. That's going to be anything that's held 12 months or less, okay? Short-term gains are taxed at your ordinary income tax bracket. Case in point, if your tax bracket is normally around 18-20%, your gains for that previous year is going to probably be around 18 to 20%, right? Unless you just had buku of losses. Then you have the other side of it. If you have a bunch of losses, for the previous year, there's some, some benefits to that as well, because you can take up to $3,000 maximum for that previous year as a loss, and that's going to help reduce your other income, like your W-2, self-employed, all of that good stuff. Then you have the other side of that, in excess of that $3,000, until you get enough profits to offset those gains. You can continue to build those losses up until you get enough gains, and then it just subtracts in the year that you get enough profits to offset. Then you have the other side of this, which is the long-term gains tax. These are going to be any stocks or, any stocks that are held for longer than 12 months in a day. So basically, I'd say, 367 days or more, that's going to be considered your long-term. Now, for the tax benefit side, long-term is where the game is at. A lot of people encourage this, specifically for your 401ks and things like that, because the maximum currently with the current tax law that you can be taxed for a long-term stock is 20%. Regardless of your income, that is the max, is 20%.
So with that said, and I don't know who wants to take this part about the strategy part, but is that to be considered when you're doing this research and you're looking at which stock I'm going to buy or whatever? Is that tax factor something to be considered, both about when you're going to pull out, as well as, which ones you're going to go into, like if it's going to take a dip or you're expecting it to or whatever? Like, how do you incorporate the tax considerations prior to making the investment?
I would say back to the earlier conversation when I said you have to flip your mind from 9 to 5 to entrepreneur. You have to go in making a deal with yourself, and when you purchase a stock, you have to think beforehand. I always tell people the first strategy is you have to look at it just like when someone say, how do you lose weight? They say, well, it's 80% diet. Your strategy first is 80% education. You have to educate yourself. There is no strategy. There is no magic pill or a magic wand you can wave or look at a pattern in order to get rich on the stock market. The very first thing, 90% of day traders do lose money, but 100% of them are uneducated about it. They just get into it, and that's the reason why. The other 10% that is making money, they're educated about knowing exactly what they're doing. They know how to read a single candlestick. They know how to read all the charts. They know how to read all the financial statements that we teach. They understand the tax implications and things like that. To answer your question, when I go and I make a trade for the strategy, I have already committed to myself before I buy, let's say, Walmart stock. I already have committed to myself how long I plan on keeping this stock before I hit enter. I always tell people I have a constitution with myself. I have an entry point, an exit point, and an emergency exit strategy, so I can mitigate as much losses as I possibly can when it comes to stock trading. My entry point is I will only pay this amount in order to purchase this business. It's just like the Shark Tank. They're like, I will only pay this amount. I'm not going. Someone can evaluate the company to $6 million. We watch the show. They're like, you only worth $3 million. Walmart stock can be flying off the shelf. All these GameStop, I'm only paying this amount. That's it. That's my entry point. My exit point is I've done my research and I've decided, hey, at this point, if it reaches this point, regardless of the time period, whether it's short gain or long term, I'm going to take my profit and exit. So, or if I reach say a 20% gain, which would be crazy for the most part, if I reach 20% and it's within a 6-month period, I'm leaving, because my research told me, hey, take 20%, take my emotions out of it. And that's how you make like a mathematical, non-emotional decision. I am out. I can look back, hindsight 2020, and say, oh, I could have made 40%. That was my exit, my exit strategy. My emergency exit is if I start, like you said, start to take a dip and lose money, I've already decided this is the amount that I'm going to invest into this business, and this is the amount that I'm most willing to lose. And if I ever hit this amount, I'm walking away from the table, like you said, at the casino table. Once I lose this amount, I'm out. Vegas,
well, let's be clear. I'm cheap. I don't want everybody to walk away with my strategy because
that's how I'm at the casino, man. I take $20 and play plenty slots all day. Yep. Look, hey, I can hit $1 million here on this penny slot. That's me.
So, there's a consideration that the gain or the loss isn't real until the transaction is made. Have you guys ever seen yourself taking a loss and you say, well, I'm not going to make it real. I'm just going to leave it there or whatever for however long it does what it does, and seen it come back at some point in the distant future, ultimately preventing loss? Or do you always keep that discipline at this dollar, I'm walking away, I don't care?
It, like I said, it goes back to what did you agree with yourself? What did you agree with yourself? Did you agree with, I'm going to cash out at 10% or at this certain amount? Or did you say, hey, we have stocks that we say, we're not cashing out until after 5 years. Yeah. So regardless of the real gain, loss, or whatever, we just say, I don't care what they do. Of course, we get mad. We be like, man, can you believe I should just go ahead? That emotional come out. It's down thousands of dollars, man. I should just cash this out. And you want to walk away. But I already made an agreement. 5 years. Let's see where it's at in 5 years. Yeah. I look at it, I get upset, but then I just keep it. So you really have to sit down and make a contract with yourself, whatever you got to do, and discipline yourself with this business, because each transaction that you do you're, like I said, like a business person. You're opening and investing in a different business, and everyone will not be the same. Just like every tax client that you have, it can't be the same. Like someone say, well, they got $10,000 back. Well, you're not them. I can't get you that. Hey, preach. So I should get the same amount. You're like, you're not them. Everyone is a case-by-case basis. Every stock is a case-by-case basis. So it just varies from stock to stock depending on what I will do. And I make that decision before I push submit. And once I do that, I look at the stock. Hey, I said 15% on this one. They hit 15%, I'm out. That was my goal, to make 15% on that one.
Hold on. I got a question for Tobias on this one, because you look like you kind of swollen up a little bit. Look like you probably
that's Jay swollen, man.
You look like you knocked out a couple people. So, how did you learn to keep your emotions out of that?
Oh, it was tough. It was tough because, to be honest with you, there'd be points where
y'all have some repairs that had to be done in the sheetrock or something.
No, sir.
Now we done punched the air.
Yeah, but the thing is like not being greedy. Like if you can get in that mindset, because there'll be times where the stock that you got, it actually exceed what you want. Before, like it'll say you want, all right, I'm gonna make 20%, more, and it'll jump to 30, 40. So you like, oh man, this might really be going up. You gotta catch yourself and say, all right, it jumped to that, now get out. Because if you don't, then next thing you know, boom, just as well as it can exceed.
I feel so judged right now. So when you guys are looking at the bottom, you made a point earlier, and I want everybody to recondition, have a paradigm shift about that. Let's stop saying buy stocks or whatever and say it is what it is, buying businesses. and owning businesses. I like that. I like that paradigm shift or whatever. When you do the research part, this for Natasha. When you get into this research part, I don't know the criteria for what you're looking for, but do you ever have those moments where you just like you can't wait for the market to open because you found something you believe is a gem, and you like come on?
Yeah, we've done it.
Has it ever like not materialized into that, or
The thing is, it can. All right, I'm waiting for the market to open. That stock can run during pre-market, and I might not get a chance to get in at the price that I want when market opens. So we always have a saying: when the market opens, do not jump into that stock when the market opens, because you want to watch that stock and see how it's going to perform. You want to buy in after 9:30 to see how that stock is going to perform. So once it settles down a little bit, okay, then go in and buy. So I'm here, okay, I'm going to buy at this price, and then I'm going to leave it for a year. I'm going to leave it for 6 months. I'm cool there. I'll set my stop loss so I won't lose anymore, or either once it starts to trade up, I'll set my trail stop, and it'll follow the stock, and it'll trigger if it goes down 10%, 20%, or whatever. So that way I'm covered. But I always have
you getting intense with it. You talked over some people here talking about trails and stop loss. So here's the reason. If any of what she just said, any what Natasha just said went over your head just now, here is the reason to go to the StockTrain.com, because this is where you're going to get that game. I'm a firm believer that is to be sold, not to be told. She did her research. I don't know if y'all, if you're just tuning in, this is how this came about. She asked the question, and Jay was like, you better go get a book. Look it up on Google or whatever. And she had to come back and show herself approved for them to really have that conversation. So there's so many gems in all of that. Jay was preaching earlier. I wanted to pass the collection plate. My mic was muted, but so the first part, this is some of the things I want you guys to take away from it. The first part is you got to be ready to do teamwork, because you can go much further with a team than you can by yourself. The other most important part is there is no shortcuts to this thing. You have to learn it or whatever, or if you're flying by the seat of your pants, you're going to take a loss more often than you get a gain or whatever. Tobias said, don't be American. No, what he actually said was, don't be greedy. It sounded like he said, don't be American. That's what that translates to. But then we had the 3 principles about, before you even get into that thing, get the education first and foremost, but have a solid constitution at home. Like, don't go gambling with the rent money, because it's less of a gamble when you have the education. But if you just like, hey, they talking about investing, what's that Robinhood? Okay, throw $500 in there, and it's the 26th, and you thought you was gonna make 5,000 before the first.
Right?
No, I ain't saying it don't never happen. I'm just saying it didn't ever happen for me.
Not for me either.
Yeah, especially when you using your rent money. Yeah, you got bigger problems. Right, you don't want to do that.
Because use your McDonald's money, not your rent money. Use your McDonald's.
Is investing in yourself, and paying rent is investing in yourself. Guarantee you have a place to sleep and some food to eat. That's a big investment. I can't concentrate on stocks if my head hurt and I'm hungry and I'm outside and my kids can't eat. That just makes no sense to me.
You just brought up a good point, and I don't know who want to take this question, but here's something I'm guilty of. I'll do some reading, especially if somebody give me some information or something. I'll do some reading or whatever. I may decide I have that, what you call it, FOMO. I know what I know, but I'm seeing what it's doing. So sometimes I'll jump in higher than I want to. But I'm guilty of, I will go days without even checking my account. So it looked like y'all cringed over there, like, what the hell? But I just want to ask, like, what is the discipline or should be the discipline about checking your brokerage accounts? Because there's not a day that passed, like, my eyes, like, check bank account, but I might go 4 or 5 days without checking my stocks or whatever.
That's fine if that's what you're okay with doing. I've done that too. It's almost like if you're into sports, your team is losing, so you turn the TV off, so you think it's going to push them up. You're like, I knew I could come back. I knew I could do it. All I need to do is don't watch the game. If I don't watch the stock, it's going to go up. So the stock market is going to do whatever it's going to do, whether you're watching your app or not. But you just have to know that I'm not watching my portfolio just because I don't need to. I don't plan on pulling my money out today or worried about what it's doing or anything. Like Tasha said, if I have my stop loss in place, it'll do its thing. I don't need to watch it 24/7. There's been weeks that I haven't opened up a brokerage app or anything like that because I'm working and doing some other stuff with the company and I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm not worried about it. So if you do that, that's absolutely fine. It's not a big deal. It only is a big deal is if you enter an agreement with yourself about a particular stock and you know that you should be watching it, you should be paying attention to it, then yeah, you should, you should look at it. But if you got stocks in there, everything is taken care of, you know what's going on, you're like, I'm not worried about anything, then go have fun, do whatever you do. And that's what I
read something similar to that in the book about putting the money on autopilot or autoplay or whatever. It kind of sound like that's the strategy on that. So what do you guys want to leave the audience with as we go to a wrap or whatever? What are some of the takeaways you want to make sure people understand?
I want to say something. I want people to know that you don't need a lot of money to invest. A lot of these companies out here own penny stocks. They buy $400 million worth of a penny stock and they wait until they get about 60 cents in sale. You do not need a lot of money. Just do your due diligence and wait it out. Do your research and wait it out. Trust me, it will pay off in the end.
But make sure your rent paid first.
Make sure your rent paid first.
You got an extra $200. Go find you a stock that's below a penny and just invest in it.
And keep adding it.
And keep adding to it every month.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of money that we don't even need to spend. And I mean, we all can attest to that.
I feel judged again.
We all can. That's what I'm saying. We all can attest to that. Like, you blow money on food that you might not need, or shoes or clothes that you might not need, and I just want that. But if you can just minimize that, and all right, you know what? I'm gonna put that on this stock that I did some research on, and I'm gonna let that sit. Then next month, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit more on there, and let it keep going. And then once you see it coming to fruition, you be like, oh man, and then it becomes a pattern that you end up getting into, and everybody like money and everybody want to see numbers. So,
and once they figure out
I joke a lot about it, but y'all don't judge me, but this is the reality. I measure that spending by bottles of Crown and cigars because I know on any given month I'm going to spend about $300 on each. So, like, well,
what's that Crown apple? What's that Crown apple?
Oh, no. I'm a real drinker. So the thing is I'll be like, okay, well, this week I'm going to work extra hours. That way I'm not having an early evening, of Crown and cigars or whatever. So, I'm working next day. I'm like, oh, I didn't spend as much this week, and I looked at the stock and okay, I'm gonna go and buy a little bit of that or whatever. So you're right, you can do, I call it vice offsetting or whatever, but everybody has their own. For some people it's food, fast food or whatever. Some people is watches, whatever it is or whatever. But it's an excellent point, because to me, I think I would see that as like, if you can first execute that discipline, like I can have this money and not spend it, then you're ready to not be emotional about investing, right?
Discipline is key. Discipline and patience is key.
Yeah. Any last words before?
I would say for me, it's more of just understanding the tax side, because George, you can attest to this. So many people get into investing and they don't consult a tax professional before they jump into that. Just learning the basics of taxes when it comes to stocks, like, okay, if I hold this stock for this much and I know my income bracket is this percentage, this is what I need to put back when I do make these gains, so I don't have a $20,000 tax bill and I've spent all the money. Like, you have to pay Uncle Sam too. I'm glad you got your gains, but you got to pay his part too.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I want to add on to what LaToya just said, because there's this lie that's being perpetuated, and it has been for years. I don't know where it came from or whatever, but please, ladies and gentlemen, don't believe for a minute that you're just out here executing crypto trades and the government don't know and you're not going to have to pay taxes. No, don't believe the hype. I don't know where it came from. I'm just here to tell you. People download case,
They're on Napster downloading MP3 songs. Like, you know what I mean? They treating it like they won't know that I downloaded this Beyonce album. It ain't you talking about we pay money. We ain't
everything got a carbon proof.
We're not talking about a single you found online and downloaded. It's different. But I'll leave with two things that I want to say. The first thing I want to say, thank you guys for having us on for one. We really appreciate that. Number one is this is to the trading community, to the people that's trading. A lot of people ask me, how do you pick stocks? I challenge anyone, I always say this, just go around your house and see what you have that's owned by a publicly traded company that you consistently buy. I bet you DoorDash, I bet you Uber Eats or Take Uber. I bet you have Apple products, Google products, dish detergent, tissue paper. Lord knows we all had that during the pandemic. So just go around and find 5 things that you consistently buy. And if you own it in your house, I think you should own it in your portfolio. Number 2, this last statement is more for the, I want to say to my people, to the Black community. We got to learn, like you said, build together as a team, put ego aside, and understand that we're doing this in order to not build riches, but to build wealth. And there's a huge difference in that. Being rich is how much money, how much things you can accumulate. Wealth is your ability to store up time, so at a later time you don't have to use your time in order to keep the same lifestyle that you have. So you can choose which one you want to do, and I'm going to choose to be wealthy. So thank you for having us on.
We passed the collection plate again over. Like, and he's just trying to get me excited because I go a whole nother hour about rich and wealthy.
I'll be on your podcast, man. We listening in.
I get excited about that thing. And I can't tell you guys enough how proud I am that you as a family are able to work together. I've seen some successful teams before, but to be able to do it in the family, man, y'all have to go out and celebrate tonight, because I don't think y'all realize what you've already accomplished, even though you have so much more that you're going to accomplish. But to the audience, please do yourself a favor. Minimize your gamble in this thing and go to the StockTrain.com and start to get the education, shore up your basics. You can't build a house from the top down. It's going to fall on you. You go pour that slab. So please go to the StockTrain.com and check out the different programs and start to learn these basics, engage in the community that these guys are building, because the conversations, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I see the conversation be like, okay, I ain't ready for that yet. I'm going to read something more while I'm doing it, because y'all be in there, dude. And I thought I did some one day. I put a post in there, and little stock I had learned a little something on and said thank me later, and about 2 hours later Jay got on and was like, yeah, I'm gonna thank you now, this is the business. I was like, oh shit. Maybe I need to learn some more, because he clearly sees something I don't see. But yeah, guys, please go to the StockTrain.com. And I didn't get to put this in there before the show, but if you would tell everybody how they can reach out to you guys, how they can connect with you via email, etc.
Yeah, just go to thestocktrain.com. Also, you can find us on Facebook, the Stock Train Group. You can follow us on Instagram at _stock_train, and just follow us there, and we'll see you there.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to two things. I look forward to being able to become as proficient a trader that I can have a conversation with you guys without just being like, this is fascinating. And I look forward to my 3X tall shirt that I'm getting next week. Want to thank you guys for coming by again, everybody. That's the StockTrain.com. Tune in next week. For the next several weeks, we have some pretty intense things coming to you. And don't forget, go to the U.S. Black Chamber. Let me move this out of the way here so we can see the deal there. And I'm going to put this link up here for you guys to see. It's eventbrite.com/e/federal -tax-updates-for you. That's a lot. So do a screenshot. I was about to try to read all of that. Like, you know what? That's a lot. You can find it at Eventbrite. Get your tickets early. I'm very excited about this opportunity with U.S. Black Chamber. Quickest way to find it is usblackchambers.org/webinars. Again, that is April 1st, and I believe it is 2 p.m. Eastern. And me and my team are getting a bunch of things ready for you. If you have questions about EIDL, PPP, employee retention, and all the other tax updates as it relates to not only the Rescue Act, but a couple of the different ones we had with the stimulus and stuff in this prior year. And most importantly, how to position yourself for the upcoming tax season. One thing you guys need to know is that this much money is not going to fly around without them coming back to account for it. It's just, please understand that it's all good when it's stimmy this, stimmy that, but understand this ain't the market. They coming back looking for it with interest.
I'm talking information.
Yeah, they're gonna roll up like D-ball. They won't think that.
Oh yeah. I can't stress that enough to people. Like, and I need y'all to understand something else. Yes, I can represent you in any tax matter in any state throughout the U.S. Where my limitation is, both legally and personally, is criminal. The minute it's criminal, I can't do that.
You on your own, buddy.
So, stop it with the fraud or whatever. You can reach out to people like Latoya or myself, especially Latoya, that really actually does the year-round bookkeeping. So when these times come, you're not scrambling and trying to throw stuff together, to get this funding that's out there. For the people that's in queue, for me, yeah, I'm coming, but it's tax season. You waited until tax season to say you need to get your books together to get EIDL. I don't know what to tell you. I think Latoya might work faster than me on that, because I'm way. Don't throw me into that, boss.
Not for that.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out again to the C-suite of the Stock Train. We will see you guys on next week. Peace.
All right. Bye.